The Montreal Canadiens' ongoing quest for that elusive top-six center continues to fuel speculation. And it's clear the team isn't shy about exploring all avenues, whether through free agency or the trade market. While no blockbuster deals have materialized yet, a new proposal has surfaced. It's time suggesting a potential swap with a division rival. The Detroit Red Wings centered around veteran forward JT Compher. This idea presents a different kind of solution to the 2C dilemma, one that prioritizes experience and a stopgap measure over a long term. High-ceiling acquisition? Let's break down this intriguing trade concept. The proposed deal would see the Canadiens acquiring JT Compher, a versatile forward, depth defenseman William Lagesson from the Red Wings. In return, Detroit would receive defenseman Mike Matheson, a 2026 second-round pick, and a 2026 fourth-round pick. On the surface, it addresses a clear need for the Habs, but as always, the devil is in the details. And the cost involved raises some significant questions. First, let's consider what JT Compher brings to the table for the Canadiens. At 30 years, old Compher is a seasoned NHL veteran with a wealth of experience, including a Stanley Cup championship during his time with the Colorado Avalanche. He's a versatile player who can slot in at center or on the wing, offering flexibility to the coaching staff. The proposal suggests he could anchor the second line, potentially playing alongside dynamic young talents like Ivan Demidov and Zach Bolduc, exfoliating them with a reliable, experienced pivot. The article correctly points out that Compher isn't a 60 to 70 point scorer who will single-handedly transform the Canadiens into a cup contender. Instead, he offers a solid central pivot and a fundamental complementary piece. His best offensive season saw him hit 52 points in 2022-23 with Colorado, which would be a welcome addition to the Canadiens' secondary scoring. He's also presented as a short-term solution, with 2 years remaining on his current contract, which could buy time for younger prospects like Owen Beck to further develop before stepping into a full-time NHL role. This stopgap approach could be appealing for a team that wants to improve now without blocking its future. Adding William Lagesson would provide the Canadiens with an experienced depth defenseman, while Montreal's top six on the blue line appears relatively set. Having more NHL-tested depth is always a positive, especially given the physical nature of the game and the inevitable injuries that occur over a long season. Now, let's turn to the cost for the Canadiens, which is where this proposal becomes particularly complex. Giving up Mike Matheson, a 2026 second-round pick, and a 2026 fourth-round pick is a significant package. The article states that Matheson is an imminent UFA and a contract that the Canadiens could do well in ending. However, it's important to clarify that Mike Matheson is actually signed through the 2026-27 season with a cap hit of $4.55 million per year. He is not an imminent, unrestricted free agent, and his contract has generally been viewed as good value for a top-four defenseman, who provides significant offensive contributions from the blue line. Trading Matheson would mean giving up a key piece of the Canadiens' current defensive cores, a player who has been vital to their offensive transition and power play. While the Red Wings would certainly benefit from acquiring a top-four defenseman like Matheson to stabilize their young defense, the Canadiens would be creating a new hole on their blue line in order to fill one at center. The rationale for the Red Wings in this trade appears to be shedding Compher's contract and acquiring a valuable defenseman in Matheson, along with 2 draft picks. The article suggests the Canadiens would be helping the Wings get Compher's contract off their books, implying it might be seen as an overpayment by Detroit. However, if Matheson is indeed a valuable asset for Montreal, the cost of acquiring Compher, a player described as a short-term, potentially 3C solution, becomes quite steep. Comparing this proposal to the previous one involving Jared McCann, we see different philosophies at play. The McCann trade offered a proven 60-point scorer, younger 29 versus 30, and locked into an affordable long-term deal in exchange for Kirby Dach and a second-round pick. A Compher trade, on the other hand, offers a more modest offensive contributor, a short-term solution for the price of a key top for defensemen and 2 draft picks. While Compher's Stanley Cup experience and versatility are appealing, the question becomes, is giving up a player of Matheson's caliber, plus 2 draft picks, the right move for a stopgap second-line center who might be better suited as a 3C? The cost seems quite high for a player who isn't expected to be a long-term, game-changing solution. Ultimately, this trade idea forces the Canadiens to weigh their options carefully. Do they prioritize immediate, experienced depth at center, even if it's a short-term fix at the expense of a valuable defenseman and future draft capital? Or do they continue their search for a more impactful long-term solution, perhaps one that doesn't create a new significant hole on the roster? Compher could certainly stabilize the second line and provide a veteran presence. But the price, especially considering Matheson's actual contract status and importance to the team, might be too steep for a player who is not seen as a long-term answer. The Canadiens need to decide if a comfortable short-term solution is worth such a significant investment. What are your thoughts, Canadiens fans? Does acquiring JT Compher and William Lagesson at the cost of Mike Matheson and 2 draft picks truly solve the Canadiens' to see need, or does it create more questions than answers? Is Compher the right fit for the team's current trajectory? Let us know your opinions in the comments below.